Hello everyone. Hi. Am I audible? Hello. Okay. Good evening. Myself Kavilashmi. I'm one of the team member of Biotech and I'm going to be the host of this session. At first, let's welcome the founder of Biotech, Ms. Jeevita, and Mr. Mohammed Chaibi. They both are PhD aspirants. Happy to welcome both of you to the session. Mohammed Chaibi is yet to join the session. And about Biowagon, our mission is to foster a vibrant community for life science graduates, and our vision is to build a thriving ecosystem. And now, let's welcome our today's special guest, Mr. Manikandan. He completed BTech Genetic Engineering from SRM University, and he continued his Master of Research from prestigious Nottingham Trent University in Cancer Biology, and he started working in Lonza Biologics as a R&D technologist, and he got recently promoted as senior scientist. We are very happy to welcome you, sir.
Hi, Kavya. Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you have any questions, type it in chat box, guys. Let's discuss with the speaker at the end of the session. We are eager to hear more from your point of view, sir. The stage is yours. You can take over the session. Thank you.
Uh, Yeah, thank you, Kavya, for your introduction. So, give me a moment. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah, I hope you guys could see my screen. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, thank you for the introduction. So I'm going to present a webinar on this topic, navigating the challenges, so struggles of international students. So, Jeevita requested, the founder of BioWake, she requested me to give a webinar because she had a lot of people are struggling to move forward after the bachelor's. So I'm gonna be very slow, or for example, if I'm going to be very quick or something, you can just let me know. So you guys can raise a question anytime you guys wanted to, or yeah, you guys ask me to slow down a bit for you guys. If you've got any doubt in any particular point of time, you guys feel free to ask questions. And I know I've got a bit of an accent. I'm sorry for that. So I'll try to make sure it's more clear. So yeah. So these are the contents. So it's going to be like introduction of myself and what are the struggles and financial constraints and your career concerns, and next is question and answer session. So this webinar is mostly going to be question and answer. So you guys can ask me any question you wanted to, and I'll make sure I could answer everything as I could. If I couldn't able to answer certain things, I'll get back to you guys either in WhatsApp or Jivita could set up another meeting so you guys can answer all the questions. So yeah, so I grew up in Chennai, and then I finished my bachelor's in genetics in SRM University in 2021. Then I moved to UK, so where I did my master of research in cancer biology in Nottingham Trent University. And even I was thinking of doing PhD as well, but then due to inflation, I couldn't able to get into PhD. So I got interviewed, got selected, everything, but then towards the end of the decision, they couldn't able to give me international scholarship. They said they'll give me UK home fees, but then as our international students, we spent like 30, 40 grand, like 30 to 40 lakhs for your masters. You don't want to spend any more money, isn't it? So then I started searching for a job in the month of December. I mean, that's when I got graduated. So then I finally landed in a job as R&D technologist or a scientist in the company Lonza. So it's a Swiss-based company, so where we generally specialize on producing medicines and developing cell lines media for rare cancer diseases. But recently they started doing for diabetes and Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's as well. I suppose, yeah, they recently started it. And I got promoted as a senior scientist recently, like the start of this month, so April, because I joined my company last April, so I got promoted this April in R&D team. So where we have a group called this Process and Protein Analytics. So in that team, I'm a senior scientist. So let's go to the struggles. So as you all can know, the cultural adjustment is going to be a bit difficult. But I do think you guys might have all the overall idea of what are going to be the struggle, because obviously we all go through Netflix and everything, so you're going to see all them dramas, so you'll know all the differences. So I guess you guys can cope up with it, except the climate and the food for sure. And then you're going to have the academic pressure. So I mean, it's not going to be the same as it's going to be in India, because in India, when I was doing my bachelor's, I had my CT exams, that cycle test every month, I had assignments every month, so and I have to present some presentations every month. Whereas when you come to UK, or probably if you go to abroad, it's going to be the same. So you're going to have one assignment per module, so which is going to be 50% of your marks. Another 50% is going to be exam. There's going to be only one exam, or some modules may have like full assignments, like two assignments for the entire module. So what I will suggest is like you're gonna ask your seniors, or every university will have a specific portal. So you could get into that and you can find the previously, assignment papers, and you can figure out how did they write, because they have their own way of writing. So I guess that'd be better to get help from your seniors. And then social integration. So obviously, you guys gonna have the same, Tamil Nadu group or India group in WhatsApp for sure, because that's what we had as well. But you guys need to expand your social network. So you don't want to be belong to one culture itself. You have to expand yourself. So you have to join your club. So every university has a student council or a student union. So you could just get into them, and they'll tell you about all the clubs they've got at the moment. So you guys can just join in the clubs, and then they'll be hanging out a lot. So then, because when you hang out, so you might, one of your club member might know someone else who might help you in your degree. So that's when you can expand your social network. You might also know someone who can provide you a job. So that's when I landed at my job as well. And then mental health. So I don't think so in India we really do, give much importance for this mental health. Like, I'm not sure about now, but then when I was there like 3 years ago, it wasn't given much importance. But in UK, it's very much important. So every university or every company or every organization in UK have their own mental health providers. So you can make use of it to the fullest. For sure, you'll be having a lot of mental breakdowns after coming to UK. Let's be real. So just make sure you guys make use of all the mental health benefits. And then financial constraints. So yeah, I've seen the post, like some people want to work in between, so because they don't have much finances to move forward to masters, which is fair enough, because everyone do face them. But even though if you're going to take a break, make sure you work something which is related to your masters. I don't want you to work in microbiology and you want to take molecular biology. So work something which is similar for you guys, so it gives an advantage in your resume and also your intake for the universities. And also for scholarships, like for UK, they have separate scholarships like Chevening Scholarship or Marie Curie scholarships. But I'm not really sure about America. But then these are the categories of scholarship we'll be getting. But then there's different name for the different countries. So I would suggest you guys to get into the university web pages or scholarship web pages and find out in which category you guys fall into. And so these are the scholarship you guys could find. And also academic scholarship is much, every universities provide academic scholarships. So whenever you, for example, when I did Nottingham Trent University, I went to Nottingham Trent page, and I just figured out they had scholarship of £3,000. So it's like 3 lakhs in Indian money. So if I didn't go to my academic page, I wouldn't have known. So, and they also have a certain time frame where they'll open it. So you have to keep looking into your academic page all the time just to get into these scholarships, which will be much more useful for you guys for sure. And part-time and managing expenses. So part-time is a racing concern in every place you go, because obviously in India we don't have the nature of working part-time while studying, but in UK and other abroad countries it's quite common. So people start working when they are like 14 or 15. So they do have their profession, their like separate CV for profession and for part-time, also their experience for part-time as well. So what I'll suggest to you guys is like draft a CV for part time and make sure you guys do have some customer service experience, because that's the most important. Even if you don't have it, just start writing something, because obviously they don't even know what you did in India. So it's all matters when you give your interview. That's all they get to know basically. So you can just write something, because they don't really care about it. But and also they don't care about which pharma company you worked in for part time, because obviously, for example, I worked in KFC. They didn't really care about which pharma company I worked in. or what I'm studying in which university. So just keep it really short. Like one page for part time is more than enough. And then you guys could search Indeed, Glassdoor, and company websites for part time. And also, there's another website if you guys going to be in UK. It's called as Harry. So you guys can get a lot of part time opportunities there as well. Another thing people used to do is like they walk into store with the CV. So as soon as the students come to UK or to the abroad thing, they start printing out their CVs and then they'll start giving into stores. That's another good idea for you guys to get into it. And also, you guys can make use of your student discount. Like every country, a student discount is like at least 10% of student discounts you'll be getting. So make use of it. And also travel passes. So it's like a monthly pass you guys can get for exam, and it's optional because for me, when I was doing my masters, I only had like 2 days or 3 days of classes, so I don't really need like an entire month pass. So for me, getting a day pass is most cheaper. But for example, if you're a person who goes to university 5 days a week, then I would suggest you to get a travel pass because, and also you'll get a student discount on top of it, so it's much cheaper for you guys. And also budgeting is essential. So yeah, because the joy of coming to a different place is not only being independent, also adulting yourself, because adulting is hard, but you'll enjoy it. I mean, as while you go. So the method I kind of use for budgeting is like 40, 30, 20, 10. I'm not sure whether you guys heard it. So 40% is basically what I do is for my rent. So whatever you get for a month, for example, if you get like £2,000 a month, out of which 40% goes for your rent. So you got to find a place which you can accommodate with that particular money. And then 30% is for your travel and for your groceries and everything. And 20% is for you guys to spend for yourself. Something you want to go for a nice meal, or you're gonna go for some parties, or you're gonna go enjoy yourself, or you want to get something good for yourself, 20%. And 10% is for you guys to save. So that's the method I usually use, which keep me going for like 3 years now. So we'll see in future. And career concerns, yeah. So I guess this is a major concern in every field, especially in biotech field, because I had a comment. I mean, I read a comment in the group as well saying biotech companies is very down compared to IT company. So it's basically because of the stock. Yeah, so my company also had a hiring freeze, and we got to know it's because of the stock. Our company did a lot better than other companies this year, but when our company was comparing with its performance last year, it didn't perform well. So the stock went down. It might be various reasons: negative drug trialing, or negative comments on drugs. So there's a lot of factors contributing to it, but then it'll get back as well. So the biotech company is going to be down, but it's not going to be permanent. It's going to be temporary for like 3 4 months. But then still, you gotta keep trying applying certain companies because they do accommodate all your CVs. They do read it, but they don't give you any response because they do know at the moment they can't do anything. So, but still, you keep applying for it because you will get the response for sure. Like, if not today, if not like in 2 weeks, at least in a month or two. So you have to update your LinkedIn, which I never did, to be honest, because I was like, oh, it's another social media for this. I don't want to do them. But then that's more important because there's a lot of people search your profiles for sure. So when like recently updated my profile, that I promoted as a senior scientist, and I've been appearing in a lot of searches like recently. So that's one of the important thing you gotta do. You have to update everything in LinkedIn so that you get a lot of views. And people come in like they'll contact you, so they'll message you. They're like, oh, I've got this job. Do you wish to apply? So that's better to have your LinkedIn updated every single time, and also draft your CV and cover letter. So you guys have to have CV for every single job and a cover letter every single job. So you can't use the same CV for every job you're applying for. And also the another one important thing I will tell you guys is like many people are smart, so for sure they'll have a lot of experiences. So when it comes to skill categories, I've seen people putting like 20 skills or 25 skills or 15 skills. So I that's not necessary. So that's not gonna get you a job anywhere. That's not going to land you in any job. No one is going to contact you because all they know is like, even though you know every single technique, but people won't believe it because for sure you didn't have any of the experiences before, and you only come from academia, or maybe you might have experience, but it's not like 10 years, it's like a year or two. So obviously people are not going to believe it. So I'll suggest you guys to stick to five. For example, if you're going to be an analytical team, put your five analytical skills. we're going to be in microbiology team with your 5 micro skills. So you have to draft your cover letter accordingly. And then another one trick I do is like I see all them jobs in LinkedIn, Indeed, and all the website. Sorry, but I go to the company's website, so where you could find the career portal. So in the career portal, you can start finding the job you looked in the other website. Then you apply straight to the career to the company's website, because people do see their company websites first, then they'll go for external. So there's more, advantage of you landing in a job through company careers portal. And also have references. It's not only for PhD, even for work. When you come to abroad, they'll ask for references. So you have to make sure you have a good reference with your professor, so that in case if they mail them, it can give you a better one. And also for entry level jobs, sorry, this is the most important thing as well. Entry level job across the UK. I can't speak for America or from different countries, but I do sure they'll also use the same thing. But across the UK, the entry level are taken over by recruitment agencies, because companies don't want to, you know, do the entry level by themselves. So they'll just give the recruitment agencies like Reed, and there's another one called as HRS for UK, and Reckitt. So these are all recruitment agencies where you can apply. So they'll act as a mediator between you and the company. So they'll help you land in a job. So once you get into the entry level, it's in your hands to move forward, to progress, and to let them know what your visa in, and whether you need sponsorship, so where you want to go and where do you see yourself. So it's all in your hands. So conclusions, what I'll say is like you have to, so every countries as their rules and regulation about visa requirements, so post-study visa and sponsorship. So there's a new rule in UK where like from next year, so your post-study visa is going to be only like 6 months, so you can't stay more than six, whereas when I came here to UK it's like 2 years. So for sure you can't land on a job in 6 months and get a visa or sponsored by the company. So check your rules and regulation before entering into the country, which is more important. And also, you have to be upfront with the recruiter, because some people are like, "Oh, we can't give sponsorship," but you didn't tell them. So when you get into the job, and then when you say it, then there's no point. So you have to leave the company anyway. So you have to be upfront with the recruiter, saying like, "Oh, my visa is gonna end in this particular point of time. I might need sponsorship. So you guys willing to sponsor?" Or you guys have to apply to the company which sponsors. So if you go to each country website, for example, for UK, they're like UK VSI, so it's like it's especially UK's website. So they'll have a list of sponsored companies. So you have to target the sponsored companies than the non-sponsored companies, because they're the one who's going to help you stay in UK or in any countries. And also be confident. So people UK or wherever countries you go, they're like people who can speak up front, who got a lot of stuff in their head, and who's not scared to speak what's in their mind. So I know everyone has their stuff, but then we'll be reluctant to say what we wanted to say. So it's always better to say everything, even though it's wrong. It doesn't matter, because you're still learning. But still, they know you're engaging. You've got the zest, you've got the enthusiasm to get into whatever they wanted to do. Lastly, you have to enjoy this opportunity as much as you can. And I know the other thing is going to be hard, but also when you look back, you want to see what you all did, not only the academy at once. So what you did after, I mean, apart from academics, like you're going to go different countries, or or you can see different cities in the same country. So it like have to be enjoying yourself. So this is all the thing I've got at the moment, because this is my experience of what I did when I moved to UK. So do you guys have any questions? Because I do think you guys have a lot of questions. Do you guys have any questions? So
Thank you so much, sir. It was an informative session. And before asking the audience about the questions, we have three questions here.
yeah,
And first, and the first thing is some students can't afford continuous studies, so they consider working between bachelor's and master's degree. Uh, what is your point of view on that?
yeah. Like as I said before, that's actually better. So some people, as you said, for me, I got a education loan from banks. So if you couldn't able to, or they might delay it for a year or two. So in the meantime, I would suggest you guys to get into the company which is related to your field you're going to pursue, because that'll give you more advantage. And also there's an opportunity of you guys jumping straight from bachelor's to PhD if you're interested in, if you've got enough experience. So I do think it's an advantage thing if you ever wanted to do something like that.
Okay. And another thing is, many MTech graduates have trouble finding jobs, especially in academics. And how you think about it? And um, what are the opportunities apart from jobs? Is there any opportunities doing internships in
Oh
UK?
yeah, there's a lot of companies offer internships, but I do suggest you guys not to do internships after masters, because it's just for you getting experience. And some internships are paid and some are unpaid. So most of the people will land in unpaid internships. So it's going to be waste of your time. So I would suggest you guys to get into the company and get the experience and also get paid for it. And I do know it's very hard for you guys to jump from academia to industry, because obviously industry is completely different to whatever you guys did in academia. That's when you have to target the recruitment agency. So entry level is basically for the academic persons in the company. So if you're gonna target the recruitment agency, so they'll act as a mediator. So they'll make sure you get a job in the company, and from there you get your experience, and you have to work your way through from the company.
Okay. And we have some questions in chat box.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
So there's a companies will offer
yeah,
internships to international students. Yeah,
questions
they
on
do.
education. Or something.
Companies will sponsor internships, but I don't think so. It's a better idea, a good idea for you guys to land in when you can try getting a job, because you're just gonna waste like 6 months. It's not a waste of time, but then I would rather get you guys get paid for doing the job you wanted to do rather than being unpaid. So you can target your companies rather than targeting internships. In
Okay.
current
And
inflation in UK, next question. Current inflation, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's still it's getting better. They're trying to do all these things to get better. I'm not sure when it's gonna get better, but I don't think so. There's gonna be much of things for a UK, like for biotech companies if you want to get a job, because most of the biotech companies are not UK based. They're more Swiss based companies or Europe based companies. So mine is basically Swiss based. My company's head office is in Switzerland, so it's not going to be affecting UK's because the money is coming from Switzerland. So it's better you guys like a company. So it doesn't really matter. So don't worry about inflation. Just worry about the company who's going to sponsor you.
which country you feel will be a better choice for a PhD, either the UK or Europe?
UK or Europe, basically it comes down to the living expenses and the money they're going to pay. So the PhD is going to be the same, and also depends on the topic you're going to take, and also the the supervisor. So it's either way, and anything is good as long as the living costs, and you can manage the things that's going to be there, and the climate conditions and food. So that should be better. So I do think UK and Europe is pretty much the same, but there's higher chance of you getting into Europe than UK. So if you want to do a PhD at this moment, I would suggest you guys to apply for Europe, not UK.
Okay. Is there any questions? Yeah. Thank you for the session, sir. It was a very wonderful session.
Another question came up: if I directly apply for the company for the job, what other requirement the company will look for? So yeah, so every company they'll look for a specific skill sets. So they'll give you all, like for example, they'll give like 8 skill sets or 9 skills that require for, but then they'll also make sure you have at least 50 to 60%. For example, if when I was searching for analytical job, they asked for HPLC, UPLC, size extraction chromatography, impurity ELISAs, and SDS page, and all those sort of skill sets. So obviously, these are the one they're looking for. And also, it's not only purely technical; they also look for something how you're going to work with the team. So what's your communication skills like? What your presentation skills like, and what your computer skills like. Like for example, Excel is a basic thing. So I would suggest you guys to learn Excel, at least the basic knowledge of Excel. and Microsoft Word, or Image or some other technical thing. If you guys have, you can also put them into it. So it'll be an advantage for you guys.
Yeah,
Most of
there's
the
another
plans
one question.
support the
Most of
families.
us plan to study abroad to support our family. So how much
Indian
in
money.
Indian rupees can we save and share to our family while working in UK?
Yeah. So if you're gonna consider my thing at the moment, so I get around 2.5 lakhs a month, which I send 80,000 to 90,000 per family. So it basically depends on the budgeting method. So as I said, like 40%, 30, 20, 10. So if you can get a house in like 30% of your salary, then you can put extra 10% and you can give it to your family. So it's based on your budgeting skill and based on what you guys spend in UK. I know UK is getting quite expensive, but still you guys can make use of all the discounts, because when you get to the different company or different countries, you know what all the discount they're offering. So you can go through the websites and get them discounts. So it'll help you to save a lot of money and send to your mom and dad. So for example, you can just like 20% of your salary, you can give it to your parents. Is
Is
it
it
possible for
possible
Indians?
for engagements to get in jobs?
I mean, you can't get a job if you did your bachelor's in India and you have no experience in India and you want to apply directly to a job. But then you can if you study your master's in UK or in the country you're going to look for, and then you apply for it, because they don't really value the experience in India unless it was like 5 6 years. If you're gonna do like year or two experience, they don't consider them as an experience. They'll just consider them as an academia. So unless you got like 6 7 years of experience in industry in India, there's no point of you applying for jobs in UK or in other countries.
Yeah, there is one question from my side.
Oh yeah, sure.
How to apply for workshops and events? Is there any online workshops in UK? Biotech workshops?
It's basically through LinkedIn. So if you know, there's certain companies they do provide workshops. So if you're really looking for one particular company, you have to follow them to LinkedIn or to their social media, and then where you can find all them workshop. And most of them are free as well. So for example, if I come across anything and if you're interested in, I would just send you guys the link in the group so you guys can attend. Some things are much free as well, so you guys can easily attend. Or my company also provides some workshops abroad as well. And if I go there and if I find them quite interesting, I could send you guys notes or something about it as well. I'll do something from my side too.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions from audience?
Yeah, there's like so if you have to work in UK after the masters in India. So yeah, as I said, if you have to work in UK after masters in India, it's quite difficult. So they would either ask you guys whether you had like 6 7 years of experience industry over there, or you have to study something in UK. So that's going to be quite difficult. Or like in, or if you are in a higher position, like in my company, there's one recently joined from India, and he was a manager or the head of certain department in India. So now he's a principal scientist in UK. So it's better if you get like 7 years experience or six, something like that. How important is English language test to apply jobs or PhD in UK? Yeah, so every universities have their own level, like IELTS scoreboard. So you have to really, that's an acceptance criteria. So if you don't have that criteria, they're not gonna even look into your application. So it's very much important because they want to test your knowledge and test your communication. They want to know how you're gonna survive in a country. Um, the mother tongue is like it's a different language. So it's very much important from my point of view.
Any other question, guys? Yeah. Thank you for all your time, and it was a wonderful session, sir, and it was very informative too.
It was my pleasure. So if you guys have any question, you guys either can send a message in the group like Biotech, and I'm still there up too. And also you can just personally text me in WhatsApp, so I'll try to answer your questions as well if you guys have any questions moving forward. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Guys, you can give feedback of the session in our WhatsApp group, and if you want more about more like the session, you can also mention that in WhatsApp too. Thank you.